Man, appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Make sure you go check out fatherflex.com. Fatherflex, they sell apparel for fathers who want to be healthy for their family. Man, let's get into it. Today we're going to be talking about what we can learn from Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic was traded from the Dallas Mavericks to the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, I know y'all are wondering, what does this have to do with your usual content? What does this have to do with personal development? What does this have to do with parenting, fatherhood? What does this have to do with entrepreneurship? I'm going to get into it. Um, Today I want to talk about how every man can learn from Luka Doncic getting fired. That's what I consider. I considered Luka Doncic got fired. Now they're saying he got traded. Right? The news reports are saying he got traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. He got fired. Let me explain the difference. See, when you get traded to another team, that means that you were negotiated for and you're just switching teams. Okay? Small difference. Luka Doncic was negotiated for, but understand that he was the star player of the Dallas Mavericks and considered one of the, if not the greatest player in the NBA currently. So a team isn't just going to give him up. A team isn't just going to trade him. You have to get fired in order to fumble that bag or in order for a team to give you up. See, a trade would be Luka Doncic wants out, the team wants him out. It's kind of like he don't want to be there. That's what I would consider more of a trade. Luka Doncic was fired. He was fired. Now, I know you're wondering, how is this relevant to me? How is this relevant to me? Why should I care that Luka Doncic was fired? You shouldn't. You shouldn't care that Luka Doncic was fired, but you should learn from the underlying message, the underlying theme, which is that you're never bigger than the culture. You're never bigger than the culture. Now, let me break it down for you because I'm going to give some context before I dive into, my main points. Some context. Luka Doncic has been playing professional basketball since he was about 16 years old. He was playing professional basketball, I believe, over in Europe as a teenager. And since he's come into the league, he's 25 years old. Since he's come into the league, he's been a superstar. He's played on the Dallas Mavericks. He's won multiple scoring titles or whatever. Multiple. He's been top scorer, Showtime, selling out arenas. And on top of that, he helped lead the Dallas Mavericks just 8 months ago to the NBA Finals. Now, why do I mention all of that? I mention all of that to show you his resume, to show you that this isn't some bum off the street. He's really him. Luka Doncic is really that guy. He's really him. And so I say that to say a lot of us men, we think we're really him. We think there is no replacing us. We think that we're too big to fail. We think, oh, that job needs me, or them people need me. My wife needs me. My kids need me. I'm not replaceable. Luka Doncic thought the same thing 24 hours ago, right before he was about to get traded. Luka Doncic was untradeable. As a matter of fact, if you would have told someone 24 hours ago that the Dallas Mavericks were going to trade Luka Doncic, they would look at you and say, you are insane. Look, I would bet that many people would believe that Luka Doncic could go into the general manager's office, go into the owner's office, and slap him in his face, and he wouldn't trade him. That's how much you associate Luka Doncic with the Dallas Mavericks, right? Just painting a picture. So Luka Doncic gets traded, and the world goes up in a frenzy. They're trying to figure, is this fake? Is this real? Whatever the case is. He gets traded. And I start thinking about, man, What do you have to do to be safe in this world? Like what do you have to do to where your job is protected, to where your legacy is protected, to where you're cemented into an organization? And I feel like after seeing this, there's nothing you could do. There's nothing you could do. I mean, capitalism doesn't even protect you. Because you would think, what how much more money can you make than having Luka Doncic from the Dallas? How much more money can you make? Kyrie a superstar, Anthony Davis a superstar. I get it. Luka is younger. He's on the rise still, and he has a lot more to prove in him, I think. And so I want to talk about a couple things, right? I want to talk about Luka Doncic first. Luka Doncic was untradeable and he got fired. He was untradeable and he got fired. And this stood out to me because, oftentimes when we're moving through our life, we're adding value and things like that. We start to gain a little confidence and we feel like, we can't be replaced, or we feel like, we've done enough. We've put in enough work. And by all measurable statistics, Luka Doncic has put in enough work. He's put in the work. But they didn't fire him because he wasn't putting work in the past, from my understanding. We'll get into a little bit deeper of what's going on, but they weren't, from just a scoring player perspective, they weren't firing him because he's trash. They weren't firing him because he's trash, right? No one's saying he's trash. Matter of fact, he one of the greatest players right now playing. He didn't get fired because he's trash. He got fired because they didn't see him in their vision. It's cool that you led us to an NBA championship last year. It's cool that you've been the face of this franchise. It's cool that you brought in millions and millions of dollars and re-energized the Dallas Mavericks franchise. And we went out and got Kyrie Irving and PJ Washington Jr. and all of these other great players. It's cool. But our vision for the future is what we're focused on. And we don't see you in the vision for the future. And so what I'm saying is that just don't think because you put in work in the past that that's going to translate to the future. Don't think that. Don't get comfortable, right? Don't get comfortable, especially when you're dealing with other humans. Especially when you're dealing with other humans. Don't think that because you've done all this work, that means that you're going to be able to live off of that in other people's mind in the future. Because there is no, well, I won all these championships, or I won all these scoring titles, or I won this and I won that, when people are thinking about business for the future. When people are thinking, like you at your job, you could have put in years of work and you think you untouchable. I know the systems, I know this, I know that, and they get somebody to come in, boom, like that, because they're thinking about the future. And so that's one of the main lessons I think that, every man can learn from this situation is like, you're never safe. You're never in a position to where you're always going to be him because of what you've done in the past. Because of what you've done in the past. That's not how it works. And especially now with the rate at which technology is advancing, with the rate at which, you're required to learn skills, they're saying by the time when you start college, when you start your college degree, by the time you graduate, the information that you've learned is already obsolete. So you went to college and you learned all this information, and a lot of it's obsolete. So you can't go out and get paid now and be valued based on the work that you put in for these 4 years. You can't go out and do that. You got to do a little extra. You got to take that plus learn some new stuff and continue to grow for the future, right? So like ChatGPT, all this AI coming out. I'm a digital marketer. So if I just sit back and I do what was working 3 years ago and I don't want to adjust to the AI, I don't want to adjust to the new strategies, guess what? It's cool that you did that in the past, Fitz, but we need We need to focus on the future. You don't know how to use ChatGPT? Boom, gone. So think about that. Think about that. If you think that you untouchable, if you think that you're that guy, you're him, you stand up, think about the future. Are you valued? Whether you're an employee in your business, whatever it is, what is your future value? Because apparently Luka Doncic's future value was less than AD being on the team. It didn't add up. The numbers weren't adding up for them. Second thing I want to talk about, um, man, you have to add value wherever you go. You have to be able to add value wherever you go. And this is, I think, the silver lining in Luka Doncic's situation, because he can add value wherever he goes. He can add value wherever he goes. So yes, he got fired from the Dallas Mavericks. I know people say he got traded. I keep saying he got fired. He got fired from the Dallas Mavericks, but he can go add value somewhere else. And that's a key takeaway that I think is important, is if you can't go add value somewhere else, you're already lost. If you can only add value where you're at, you're lost. Like I was watching a movie. I was watching a movie last night on Netflix where um there was this AI. This AI, and it kind of mimicked a wife, a woman, and the AI was able to come into the house, the robot come in the house, do all the things, take care of the kids, blah blah blah. And in one of the scenes in the movie, there were these construction workers that were being replaced by robots. And these construction workers were upset. And one of them said, this didn't just happen overnight. We've been fighting this for 10 years. We've been fighting this. We've been fighting against this for 10 years. And so within that time, they were not able to make themselves valuable for the future. And so they were upset. They were angry because the robots were replacing them. But really, they were replacing themselves, because they didn't do what was necessary to be valuable in the future. And here's the great thing. When you stop focusing on one company, when you stop focusing on one job, one paycheck, then you're able to position yourself to truly be valuable no matter where you go. Focus on the skills, focus on the fundamentals, focus on improving yourself and improving your craft, focus on your mindset. Because I'm telling you right now, if this was a situation where Luka Doncic had a career-ending injury and he couldn't add value in the future, nobody would want him, regardless of what he did in the past. Nobody would want him. You could probably get a high school kid before Luka Doncic if he had a career-ending injury. So obviously he's not trash. He still can add value. What I'm saying to you is, learn from this. When you don't just scroll through these stories and get sensationalism from them, learn from them. Look at it and analyze, like, dang, this is a $100 million plus entity right now. Luka Doncic is like, this is big money, and they let this dude go. They let this dude go. And so don't think that you're bigger than the culture, but also understand that regardless, you have to be able to add value no matter where you go. Real quick, if you're watching this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button with the bell notification so you don't miss out on any content. We have the channel up to about 1,200 subscribers. It's been a long journey. My goal is to get to 1,500 within the next month. So we are making headway on that. Please show support to the channel. I'm going to be doing more live streams, going to be putting out more long form content, and going to be releasing more shorts around parenting, fatherhood, marriage, business, entrepreneurship, all of that. So make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. But let's get back to it. And later on, if there's anyone in the chat and you have any comments or want to discuss anything, we can have a little discussion. Let me know in the comment section. If there's anything you want me to cover. So next, read the room, Be able to read the room wherever you go. To me, in this situation, a lot of people are saying they're surprised. Like a lot of people on the Mavericks staff, they saying they surprised. Head coaches surprised. I'm calling BS. I'm calling cap. I'm calling cap because you have to know on some level that something is going on. Like there was never a job that I worked where I was just totally oblivious to things that were going on behind closed doors. And you could see how people start to treat you differently. So I'm not buying that nobody knew anything. I'm not buying that even Luka Doncic himself didn't feel like something was up. Maybe phone calls weren't getting answered as quickly as they used to. Maybe there was shorter conversations happening. Maybe there was sarcasm being thrown out. You know what I'm saying? So be able to read the room. Be able to read the room and understand when it's your time to go. I'm always trying to read the room. I'm always trying to understand my environment. I'm always trying to understand what's next. And for me, when I see a player of Luka Doncic's caliber get traded like that and nobody knew nothing, either everybody knew something, some people knew something, or nobody really knew nothing. But for me, I look at that and I'm like, nah, this was not under wraps like they're saying. And this happens all the time in business. This happens all the time when you working at your job, or you coming in, they telling you about your project and how you've been doing a good job. Then all of a sudden you ain't working there no more because they fire you, and you sitting there like y'all didn't know and nobody know now. And so for me, you have to be able to read the room. You have to develop that skill set. Be able to read the room, know when it's time to make your exit, but always add value wherever you're at, and make sure you're prepared to add value wherever you go. And don't get in the trap of thinking that because you're adding value here, that it should be as easy to add value somewhere else. Because understand, when you get in comfortable from a place, they may not call you out on certain things. When you're at a certain place, they may just be willing to take certain losses. It's different when you have to go out there and compete for something new. It's different when you have to go out there and compete for something new. So even with Luka Doncic, they're now questioning his weight, saying you're pushing 270 pounds. This is unacceptable. Appreciate it. We got Dax, and he said, dude, I love your advice. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you could please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Push this content out to more people. But, like when I think of Luka, and last night, I'm going to be real. I was headed to bed. And I got a group chat of people I play basketball with. They start hitting me up saying, is this real? I'm like, what? Luka Doncic got traded. So people thought it was fake. That's how much value he adds. People thought it was fake. And what I'm telling you is this will blow over. Luka's going to go to this new team. He's going to add value. But in your own personal life, constantly be asking yourself, if I didn't have this opportunity, if I lost it, this opportunity I have right now, would I be able to go somewhere else and add just as much value or more? Would I be able to? Constantly be looking at, appreciate it for the sub. Thank you for the support. That means a lot. Constantly be looking at, what value you're adding now, but also, can you add value somewhere else? Can you add value somewhere else? Because that's what's going to be important. And here's another thing. I've been doing a lot of research on, just the marketplace in general. And what I find is that you typically can go and get more when you go out and compete in the marketplace versus staying where you're at, because you're often underappreciated where you're at. It's not until people be like, oh, dang, if he leaves, I got to go compete and got to go to the marketplace again to get this skill set, or I got to go to the marketplace and get this. And then they start weighing their options. Just like we seeing with President Trump putting tariffs on these other countries now. They're now thinking like, oh, dang, we haven't been paying these tariffs. We've been getting over on these deals. If we have to come back and renegotiate, then it's not going to be a good thing. And so you have to think like that in your regular life. Everything is a negotiation. People are always thinking about your value. People are always thinking about what it is you bring to the table. And if you can't go to another table and bring that or more, you're gonna be in a very dangerous situation. Say, guys, that's how you feel about them tariffs. You know, I threw the tariffs out there. I don't want to get too deep into political talk right now, but I can use the tariffs as just an example. Like I was using them as an example of saying, you know, when you're negotiating and you're coming back to the table to understand value and understand what you're bringing to the table, you're going to have to justify some things. You're going to have to say, hey, you know, here's what I bring to the table. And then people going to say, well, they're going to have opportunity to call you out on BS. So like Luka, they were saying this man wasn't doing his strength and conditioning training. They were saying he overweight, pushing 270, that he not taking it seriously. They saying, you know, there's reports that he out here drinking, getting the beer belly. Like these are reports. I don't know the man personally, so I'm not sure. But from what it sounds like, they weren't confident in what he could bring in the future. They weren't confident. It's cool what you did in the past. We salute you. You got us to the finals last year. But what can you do for us in the future? And that's what your job is going to look for. That's what your clients are going to look for. You're an entrepreneur. Cool, you made some money with me in the past. Cool, you provided great service in the past. But let me ask you something. Your favorite restaurant, do you go there because of what they did in the past, or do you keep going there because you think that they're going to continue doing that in the future? Me personally, you know, they're my favorite restaurant because they've been consistent, and I have confidence that this order they're not going to mess up, and if they do the next, like, there's going to be some consistency. It was cool that y'all gave me some good food in the past, but if y'all take that chicken sandwich away, we gonna have problems. I'm not coming here no more. Y'all raise the prices too high. I'm not coming here no more. Y'all start skipping on quality. I'm not coming here no more. So it's cool that you gave me some good experiences in the past, but we got to be realistic. Yep, he finna get taxed up in LA. Them taxes in LA are no joke. And that's another thing. You know, he's going to lose money because it seems like on a certain level he felt like he was above the culture. Now, I don't know that for sure, but what I do know is that you fumbled a $350 million contract that he should have been signing, I think, at the end of this season or next season. He fumbled a $350 million contract. I don't know what they're going to pay him in LA, but I know that, you know, I don't think that the story hits as well with him being a Laker versus a Maverick. Because the Lakers, they always get the top talent. They always get the superstars. They always get these people. But for him to come to Dallas and make it happen, that would have been something even more special. And so, you know, I'm kind of disappointed, but at the same time, I'm looking at this from a learning perspective. A learning perspective, because there was no way that I thought, you know, a player of his caliber could just be traded like that. He's not complaining. Well, we don't know if he's complaining, but publicly he wasn't complaining. There was no forewarning. There was nothing. He's just gone. And many of us in our own personal lives, we have to take constant inventory. Are we valuable? Are we prepared for the future? What are we doing to set ourselves up for the future? Whether you're talking about, you know, in your marriage, you think because you've been paying bills all these years that you're good for the future. You think because you stepped in and you stepdaddy and you been playing that role that you good for the future. That's not necessarily the case. That's not necessarily the case. You thinking because you showed up at this job and you added all this value and made them X amount of money that it's going to be like that forever and they going to hold you on a pedestal forever. Nah. People only on a pedestal when they on a pedestal. Once you get taken off that pedestal, it's very hard to put you back on that pedestal. And at some point, the management at the Dallas Mavericks took Luka off of a pedestal, put him down here, and it's very hard to get back on that pedestal no matter who you are. Perfect example with Steve Jobs. He was on a pedestal up here with Apple. They took him off the pedestal and he had to claw his way up to the top. And from what I remember, he did something to where he got rid of the executives when he came back because he understood that the culture would never be the same with those executives there, the ones that ousted him. He understood that. He needed to build a new culture. Yep, anyone can be traded at any time. No one is safe. That's right. That's right. And here's the thing. I agree with that, but I will say that, you know, for a star player of his caliber to be traded out of nowhere, there's something deeper going on than just, you know, they just wanted Anthony Davis. There's something deeper going on. He wasn't fitting in with the culture. He wasn't he there was something they felt like in the future he's going to be more of a problem than an asset. Someone said, will Trump admin restore normalcy in the US? I'm hoping that we can get some more normalcy in the US. I'm hoping. I have faith. I have faith because, you know, there's a lot of things, and by normal, I'm going to assume things around like the gender ideology, things about men can't be men, things about the media lying, things like the illegal immigration system. I'm hoping so. And based on what he did in the past and the things that he's implementing now, I do think that that's going to be the case. I think we're going to start seeing some more normalcy. I think it's a balancing act. I do think it's going to, you know, like already, and I did a video about this the other day, they were talking about he's not celebrating Black History Month. So I think there's going to be more of that where we're not really going to see his accomplishments until after he gets out of office because the media is just going to crowd up the airspace with some nonsense. But yeah, great question. Someone said, yo, y'all see Jason Kidd holding back tears in that interview? Yep. Jason Kidd sitting there like, and that man, Nico, he kept saying, me and Jason are aligned. Me and Jay, we a team. And Jason like, I don't even, bro, you didn't even tell me. I don't know, man. It don't seem like Jason Kidd happy about it, to be real. It don't seem like Jason Kidd is happy. Real quick, if you are in the stream, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, hit the like button real quick just so that this content could get pushed out to more people. I appreciate y'all's support. But yeah, I think that Jason Kidd really is in it with the players. Now, I don't know. I'm not going to say 100% that he didn't know, but I don't think that he agreed with the decision. I don't think he agreed with the decision. Because even them saying defense wins championships didn't make sense to me, because you can always go out and get better defense players. I feel like that's kind of a cop-out. To me, it's like, what do you have to do? Like Luka Doncic scoring 33 points, 40 points, 50 points, one of the most clutch players in the NBA. And I get it. You know, he doesn't play the best defense, but I feel like you can go out and get better defensive players. And I'd be looking at it like, bro, they made it to the NBA Finals 8 months ago. They can't be that bad. They just didn't lose. So you telling me if they would have won the NBA Finals that Luka would be getting traded right now? I find that hard to believe. It's just that the Boston Celtics, they on a run right now. The Boston Celtics are on another level. If you watch them play, the Boston Celtics they're the team to beat. They're doing everything right, in my opinion. Someone said Luka is 270. That's crazy. Still, Mark Cuban would have never done this. I agree. And I'm interested to see what Mark Cuban has to say. From a business perspective, he may not speak out. I don't know. He's always been kind of outspoken on certain things, but I'm interested to see what he's going to say. Because I wonder if they called him. And consulted with him or anything. Because right now, everyone has their hands in their pockets. Nobody wants to admit that they knew anything. Everyone wants to be the person that threw the rock and then put their hands in their pocket. And now that we like, who broke that window? And nobody knows now. Nobody knows nothing. Nah. We, as humans, we not that good at keeping secrets. And boy, was this a secret. Like, we not that good. So you cannot convince me that they didn't hint to Kyrie Irving. Like, hey, what do you think about playing with Anthony Davis? You can't convince me that they didn't ask Jason Kidd. You can't convince me that on some level Luka didn't know. You can't convince me those things. This is just being in business, being an employee, understanding how things work, understanding the back channels and how people be talking and things like that. You can't convince me that nobody knew anything and it was just two people that knew. I'm not going to believe that. I'm not, with millions and millions of dollars on the line. Nobody knew anything. No one was having conversations. Yeah, trading for Ant Davis is crazy. It was a weird trade. It was a weird trade. And this is one of those moments, I think, in like 20 years where we're going to get some documentary and we're going to find out the truth and it's going to be something crazy. You know, like I be watching these documentaries where things happen like 20, 30 years ago and I didn't even know about it. Then the documentary come out and it's like, boom, R. Kelly book. Yo, that's how, like a lot of these people I'm growing up on now, they gonna have some crazy documentaries. They gonna have some crazy documentaries. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Let me know what y'all think in the chat because, you know, I'm still processing it. The Mavericks had a game today. Kyrie Irving was out. PJ Washington was out. Daniel Gafford was out. And they said it was because of injuries. It wasn't because of injuries. Y'all just don't want them in front of the media. Y'all done sold their boy out. And y'all don't want them talking reckless. You don't want them in front of them cameras. And you want to make it seem like, hey, well, this is a team effort. Nah, bruh. Nah. Because here's another thing. If this truly was under wraps and you didn't talk to Kyrie about it, you didn't talk to the players about it, you didn't see if this was a good fit for them, that kind of makes it seem like management doesn't give a damn about the players. Like you halfway through the year and you just take out the missing, like the star player and replace him with someone else and don't tell nobody, don't run it by nobody, don't check with the players. To me, it's like, yo, you don't respect the players. And that's one thing with like looking into the NBA and how they do the trading, things like that. It don't seem like they respect the players because these people have built brotherhoods. These people have built communities somewhere, their families there, all these things. And then all of a sudden they're getting traded. And then you're just supposed to accept the new person coming in and you're not even running it by the players that actually have to play with them. I understand it's a business, but on every job interview that I've went to, when they're hiring, you get to meet the team. You get to meet the team to see if you'd be a good fit personality-wise. You get to meet the team, and this ain't even for millions of dollars. You get to meet the team. So it's just weird that millions of dollars can be up in the air, and we hoping that they get along. We just hoping that they get along. You ain't went out to dinner with nobody. You ain't met nobody mama. You ain't spoken to them. You ain't played no NBA 2K. You ain't did nothing. And you just hoping. Millions of dollars online. You just hoping that these dudes get along. Seem kind of fishy to me. Seem kind of like, it don't seem like good business to do that. To rip a star player out and then put somebody else in and just hope that everyone else gets along with them. That don't seem like, I bet you the CEOs and the executives of these basketball teams, they had to meet the team before they got hired. Someone said, ResDog94 said, it's the same with NFL. They want you to be loyal to them, but it's not the other way around. Yeah. It's not that, and that's why I'm saying you have to be valuable no matter where you go. You have to be able to add value no matter where you go. And so, you know, that's kind of how I think of this situation. I'm just trying to make sense of it from a practical perspective, take a lesson out of it. I hope y'all got some value from this video. If there's anything else I could talk about, let me know in the comment section. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you don't miss any content. Also check out fatherflex.com where we sell gear for fathers who want to be healthy for their family, apparel. We got hoodies, shirts, joggers, hats, everything. So make sure you go check out fatherflex.com. Information is in the description. If y'all don't have anything else, I'm going to bounce. So let me know if y'all got anything else y'all want to talk about in this stream. And if not, I'm going to bounce and go make some dinner. So let me know. Let me know in the comment section because, you know, it's wild. It's wild. All right. Looks like we got someone said, keep being great, brother. Yep. Appreciate it. We love your content. Appreciate y'all. And I'll see you next time. I'm out.